Hello, I'm Helen Bradley. Welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at some problems with 3D rendering on text in Illustrator and some options that you have for fixing it. Now, briefly before we get started, I want to show you my courses here at Udemy. In the description below are coupon links for all of my Udemy courses. I also have a lot of Illustrator classes over at Skillshare, and again another coupon in the description below, which is an offer at least as good as the current Skillshare offer. At Skillshare, if you sign up, you'll get access to thousands of classes, including over 200 of mine. So let's swing back to Illustrator. Now I've got a piece of text typed here. I've chosen this sort of squarey text, so it's going to be easy to see the problems. I'll select over the type. I'm using a font called Blockletter that's available free from 1001 Fonts. Let's go and render it using 3D. Effect 3D, Extrude and Bevel. Now I'm going to set this to front because this is where I'm going to show you where the problem is. I'll set the perspective to 50 degrees and I'll set the extrude depth to 200. Now it's pretty obvious what the problem is. There's a plane here that's not rendering, and there's another one over here that is also not rendering, so the shading is not quite correct. If we have a look in the wireframe view, you're going to see that there should be shading in these areas, but it's just not appearing. There is a slight workaround for fixing that, and that is to adjust one of these values just a little bit. Now it may and it may not work. In this case, by just rotating the text by 1 degree, I'm able to kick in shading on these missing planes. Now you can also try smaller values, for example 0.1%. And just kicking that around might solve your problem. But if you're not really happy with that, if you want an alternative solution, I'm going to show you some of those. So let me just cancel out of here now. So one option you have is to add a second appearance to this text. So I'm going with the text selected to the appearance panel. I'm going to click here on Fill. And I'm going to select the same red as I was using. Well, let me just see which it is. It's up here. So that's going to be this second fill is going to be this red, but I want it to be a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to go and select a sort of lighter color. Now I'm going to move this fill underneath this characters entry. So we need to move it behind everything else. And then we're going to move it using a transform effect. So with it selected, I'm going to choose Effect and then Distort and Transform and then Transform. Now by selecting the actual fill I want to transform, I'm not going to transform the whole piece of type. I'm only going to transform this second filled version. So let's turn on preview. I'm going to leave this little set of 9 boxes. The one that's selected is the one in the very middle. I'm going to kick this down to say 99%. I'm going to increase the number of copies. And what happens is that we've got 10 copies of the original shape, and each one of them is 99% of the size of the previous one. Now 99% is obviously way too big a value, so I'm going to set this to 99.8 and see how that goes. I'm going to do the same for each of these height and width, and then let's increase the number of copies again. What I'm looking for here is a number of copies and a scale that's going to give me a fairly even transition. I think it's still a little bit too big of a jump, so I'm going to decrease that, and I'll increase the number of copies. So I have a pretty smooth result there. I'll click OK. I can come back here at this point and just change the color, so it's a little bit easier to see the effect that we've got. And so we've got this shading effect, or this long shadow effect, created using a transform effect on a second fill inside the shape. So that's one of the options that you have. Now I'm going to delete that fill, and let's go and have a look at another option that you have. I'm going to select over this piece of text and I'll choose Edit Copy and then Edit Paste in Place. So that means that I've got 2 copies of this text, one on top of the other, and using Paste in Place, make sure that they're in exactly the same position. So let's go to this back version and let's make it a lighter color. So I think I'm going to choose one of my oranges here. Now I'm also going to make a duplicate of this topmost version, so I'll just drag it onto the new icon here just in case I need it in a minute. So now we have a dark red version on top and an orange version behind. Let's just turn the top one off as well so that we've only got one visible. I'm going to target that and I'll hold the Alt key and the Shift key. That would be Option and Shift on a Mac. I'm just going to reduce the size of this. So we've got a smaller version of our type. So with these two now visible, I'm going to select over both of them and I'll make a blend using them. So I'll choose Object, Blend, and then Make. I'll double click on the blend tool here, turn preview on, set it to specified steps and start increasing the number of steps until I get a smooth transition. I'm using about 30 here. That's a pretty good transition here. I'll click OK. And now we can put back on the top version. We can make that visible again. And you might want to make it just slightly darker. So I'm just going to make it ever so slightly darker so that we can see this transition effect. It's going from that sort of red color all the way through to orange. So that blend has allowed us to make a sort of long shadow effect. Now, if you wanted the blend to be made using the same orange, that's possible too. Let's just go and save our orange. It's going to make sure that I've got that saved so I can use it. Let's go back to the red one and let's make it the color that we just saved. And now we've got a blend from orange to orange with the red text on top. So the blend is using these two orange shapes and the top version, this red version, is coming from an individual piece of text, not part of the blend. Now one of the things that you can do when you're using a blend is that you can actually move things around. So let me just start moving this. I'm just using my arrow keys. You can see that we can move the effect around. We might want to at the same time go back and make more steps in our blend because we're getting this sort of edge showing. So I'm going to double click on my blend. I'm going to set a much higher value for the blend option specified steps. I'm setting it to about 170, just something that's going to give me a smooth sort of look. And so that is another way of getting a sort of 3D effect. In this case, we're doing it with a blend. So if you're feeling let down by the way Illustrator handles 3D text rendering, you do have other options that you can use. I hope this video has been of help to you. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell and you'll be alerted when new videos are released. Until next time, my name's Helen Bradley. Thank you so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel.